All right, good evening, everyone out there. My name is Robert, and this is
Joe?
Joe, and we run this little corner of YouTube R&J Reviews. We cover TV shows, movies sometimes, but mostly discussions about recent TV shows that have aired. And tonight, or this morning, if you want to be technical, it's a conversation about FX's Season 2 of The Strain, the premiere episode, which I have to admit, after just catching up on Season 1, it was a pretty good episode. I liked it quite a bit. The opening with the fairy tale narration, or the fairy tale-like narration, I thought was really good and really creepy, showing the origin of the master vampire. What did you think about that?
Yeah, and just quickly before I get into it, just you're saying this little corner of YouTube, and I like that. This is the fun section of YouTube. So for everyone watching, welcome to the fun section of YouTube.
Yes, Joe and I are definitely the fun section of YouTube.
Yes, so welcome. And when it comes to, in terms of this episode of The Strain, which actually I also just call up on as well, it was very, very cool. And that's a very ambiguous word here, but let me just kind of dissect it. You had said that you liked that beginning, and I did too. It felt very kind of spooky, kind of fairy tale, like the kind of stories you hear as a kid around Halloween to kind of get you scared. It felt like that kind of come to life. It was really cool, that beginning, how it was handled. And the effects I thought were a little iffy at first, but eventually I thought it was fine. I thought, that could have just been me over, dissecting it.
Right.
The visuals were fine, and they were effective. They were creepy, right? Very creepy. Very effective, the visuals. But
I mean, FX stands for effect, so they know how to do their effects pretty well.
Right. I loved that kind of just the feel of it. The feel of it is very, very horror, and it's something that TV is missing. With The Walking Dead, we don't get that. Which I say The Walking Dead because that's the only other big
comparison you can do.
Type show. What horror shows are there that really do it good? I know we have a couple, but
well, I think like The Walking Dead, if we had to compare it, like The Walking Dead is more of a action with zombies as being a problem.
Yep.
But it's not, the problem is zombies. Here in The Strain, the problem is the strain virus and the vampires that are being created from it, and the master overall. Like there actually is there's a major antagonist, there's a minor antagonist, and the vampires are very bad. Like they're the true antagonists as well. Like Walking Dead, their problem is each other. Like the group's dynamic is each other's own problem.
Yeah, and the show is very confident with that, I thought. After seeing this episode, the show knows what it is, and it rolls with it. And it is very much, it's a horror show, and it's very cool with doing that. It has a lot of horror tropes in it, a lot of, even I said this to you when we were watching this.
Yeah.
Even the dialogue at times is kind of traditional, in the sense that some of the ways things are said, it's not how a lot of people talk these days, but they get away with it. Like one example is they're talking about baseball, and he says, "Yeah, I've never been to baseball," and she goes, "Oh, you simply must," and that's not. Yeah, okay, that might be said, but that's still, when you hear it, that sounds very kind of like Victorian London. It just sounds traditional. So it kind of, I think, along with how the dialogue is presented in many cases, along with some of these kind of horror elements, and like we said at the beginning, it feels very traditional horror, but just presented in such a new way, especially with the effects and everything. It feels like a fresh take on traditional horror, which is pretty
cool. Agree. I mean, it feels like a horror movie with just a classic horror movie, I think is what we go with. It works. And then there's very unclassical things in this, like how the vampires are like a big cesspool, for example.
Yeah, they throw up on people.
Yeah, that was gross. And but it's like that blend. It's a good hybrid, in my opinion, of classical horror to the brand new. This is what vampires are. This is no Edward Cullen.
Right. And if I had to kind of say something that I didn't like. It's the fact that as of right now, after seeing this episode, I didn't really feel when things started getting, I guess, intense when they were around the vampires, or whatever the case may be. I didn't feel like worried or really worked up to kind of feel anything. It just felt very anticlimactic in that point. It was just like, oh, there are some vampires. Whereas in other shows, and like you said, Walking Dead is more of an acting show. So I guess that's the wrong example to choose here. But the case is, the fact of the matter is, there's not too many hard TV shows, so it's hard to compare. But it's just in terms of this show, I thought kind of when you see the vampires and it's kind of, I guess chasing our protagonist or whatever the case may be, it just felt pretty anticlimactic to me for this one episode.
I liked the end result of the chasing of like when they're in like the final like 15 minutes of the show, when they're trying to get out of New York or something like that, and they're in that warehouse and they pull up the grates and you see those two people that are stuck that stood there to hang out or hide out, and the vampires come, and it's very cinematic in its approach to vampires, or to an action battle with zombies, vampires, whatever. But then the end of it, where you see that they're both infected, I liked that twist upon it, because then now we know just how quickly this virus spreads. I mean, maybe we know. I think we can tell our heroes are going to live throughout most of this. I mean, hey, it's not Walking Dead where a new character gets killed off every 8 episodes. So I think we expect our heroes to survive, which is a good thing. It's good to have characters that stick around for a while. But I liked how the battle ended, where you see the man and the woman with the worms in their necks. Right,
and that's some pretty creepy imagery, I would say. Like, it does have the horror feel, and especially if we're talking New Age, gore especially, and a lot of movies, gore. I feel like not necessarily gore, but kind of close with, like you said, worms in the neck and stuff.
I mean, if you look at the cover for the season 1 or the cover for the season 1 DVD, like, it has like the worm in the eye. It's very creepy and very, like, it's just disturbing. It's very disturbing looking, but it works. It works. I like the concept of how they said, like, they really can't make an antidote or a vaccine. And now they have these 2 people that just got infected, and they're hoping they can maybe use that to wipe out the virus. I like that idea.
Right.
I really like just how strong this virus is, and I also I liked seeing the Master. I really did appreciate his origin story overall too. I thought, like you said, the visuals were quite good. Like, I got scared a couple times, like at least a couple chills. I feel like I jumped out of my seat.
Right. It's definitely just a very eerie show in terms of tone and feel, and I mean every aspect. It feels like a horror show done right.
Yeah, it's definitely done right. It's very solid. It's very good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, having to talk about it live for the first time, we didn't get to do the season 1 episodes, but I'm happy to talk about season 2.
Right.
It's different from, like, our other horror show, The Walking Dead, which we discuss.
There's also American Horror Story, but I feel like that's a tough show because it's different every season. So I feel like that one's a hard one to compare to. The truth of the matter is there aren't too many big horror shows, and that's why we're trying to kind of look for comparisons here. But the fact of the matter is there really isn't too much comparing to be done here. Strain's very much its own type of show.
Oh, it totally stands out by itself. I mean, it's done by Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan. They're very good writers. I mean, they co-wrote the 3 novels. I think it's 3 that started the series. So I mean, they have solid writing staff. I mean, the acting is very good. The acting, I have to say, is very good. I really like who plays. I like the man who plays Abraham. Sorry, I don't remember his name, but I really liked his portrayal in the movie. And I really like not so much the Master, but the Master's like assistant.
Like it's like partner, right? Is that?
Yeah,
right?
They call him his partner, but I think he's really a pawn more than anything else, at least in my opinion. I really liked him. And then the episode has that interesting ending where, like, they say when you get infected, like you're not alive anymore. You're like, you have no personality, and then they were able to reverse it on one woman.
Right.
And now she can talk again. So I think that's a pretty cool twist too, to give back to reverse like that virus sort of and give her memories.
I agree.
I think the show is doing a good job. I like it. I'm actually looking forward to episode 2.
Yeah, it feels like it's in very competent hands, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes.
Yeah, I think it will be fun. It's a good show, and yeah, thanks for anyone who checks this out because we'll cover these episodes every week, hopefully.
Yeah, so that's it for this video, and if you want to stay in the fun section of YouTube, go ahead and check out our other videos. We do Hannibal, True Detective,
which we missed tonight.
Yeah, which True Detective we did miss.
Yeah.
But we did see Strain, and we'll be back next week with Strain.
And Hannibal this Thursday.
And Hannibal, yeah, and we have a ton of shows coming. BoJack Horseman. We go from the Strain to BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, we do a lot. We have a very wide variety of taste.
Yeah, so we'll be back next week with Strain to talk some more Strain. And if you guys comment down below, we'll open this conversation up. Let's get going. Let's talk some Strain.
Yes, let's talk some Strain. Guys, thank you all for checking this out. Thank you, guys.